I'm finally done with it.
Fuck yeah!
Welcome to a brand new Lost Anarchy Patreon request.
He knows what he's doing.
Here it is, my Dredd Batman crossover extravaganza mega episode.
There are a few more iconic comic book characters than Judge Dredd and Batman, and in 1991 they were thrown together fighting for their lives in a wildly successful series.
When Batman crosses paths with the grim and gritty Judge Dredd, things are bound to get ugly. In these tales from the 1990s, the two crime fighters face the Riddler, the Joker, and battle extra-dimensional gladiators. Plus, don't miss Judge Dredd's battle with the main man himself, Lobo.
I'm going to use your intestines to strangle this saucy little minx.
This amazing title collects Batman, Judge Dredd, Judgement of Gotham, Batman, Judge Dredd, Vendetta in Gotham, Batman, Judge Dredd, The Ultimate Rebel, Batman and Judge Dredd Die Laughing 1 through 2, and Judge Dredd, Psycho Bikers vs. Mutants from Hell.
Oh, yeah!
Before we get to my Judgment of Gotham, the Batman Judge Dredd crossover, the first one anyway, I finally got Death Race 2020 number 7.
Ain't getting number 8 though. Ain't paying $50 for one comic book. That's the cheapest I could find it on eBay.
This one, $5. Yeah, it hurts me to do that, but better than 50, right? Gotta finish it somehow, and don't really want to go on whatever website it is to read the comics, because it just doesn't feel the same, you know? Especially if I'm rendering in the middle of something, you know? But yeah, back to what I was saying. So, issue 7, it was worth the read, actually. Like, Steppenwolf and Baba Yaga awaken the rat and wolf god to have them try to win the race. Weird side story with some guy whose wife leaves him for a rock star and goes out on a killing spree to kill all the fans. Funny because it came out in 95, so they make reference to like Garth Brooks fans who hate rockers, which is ironic because we all know Garth Brooks was a closet rocker, and that's why like he did the Chris Gaines thing.
It's so stupid. It's just Garth Brooks in a wig.
And I know it even says like, what does this have to do with, Death Race? And then really cool too is, Happy the Clown gets a new tie at a toy store and kills everybody at the toy store. And it was basically like a big callback to fucking Blues Brothers because they basically demolition derbying in a shopping mall. And then finally the evil gods ask a question to Frankenstein, like, what would you do if you win? Because they realize that like the ones who summon them are just like ass kissing, too edgy for their own good Russians. And then Frankenstein just says,
I'll just use the same thing I did last time. Go into politics. Fuck off bitches.
like, okay, that's the right answer.
What the fuck?
Still not gonna get to issue 8, because like I said, this series does not end. It just kind of like, they canceled the series and went without a conclusion. So this is a good ending for me anyway. And now on to the Batman Judge Dredd Judgment of Gotham.
It's the first of 4 Batman and Judge Dredd crossovers.
And I like it. I mean, there's nothing bad about it.
You know why? Because you're Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
My only negative will say is, it's very fan servicey, but what do you expect for the first crossover of the UK series?
Anarchy in the UK.
Published by DC Comics and Fleetway in 1991. It was written by John Wagner and Alan Grant with art by Simon Beasley.
This later ended up being licensed by DC over here.
But why?
Judgment on Gotham was released as a graphic novel in 1991 and has been reprinted in a number of times since.
Why would you do that?
My guess was because Marvel was doing Marvel UK.
Whatever.
So here's the gist of the story. Basically,
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
Judge Death makes a dimensional jump for Gotham, murdering 2 lovers and a police officer. Batman defeats Death, who flees in spirit form. Among the remains of his host body, Batman finds a dimensional jump belt. He accidentally activates, transporting him to Mega City 1. When he is confronted by Mean Machine Angel. As Mean Machine attacks Batman, they are both confronted by Judge Dredd. Flees to Gotham using the belt, then wanders into the city looking for Judge Death.
Batman fights them, captures them, and then ends up getting warped to
Mega blocks, mega highways, Mega City 1.
In Mega City 1, Dredd arrests Batman for possession of illegal weapons. The contents of his utility belt and accuse him of vigilantism. Batman is frustrated at his inability to explain himself to Dredd until telepath Judge Anderson scans Batman's mind to ensure that death is not hiding in his brain.
Hey, boys.
Hey, I'm Batman. You want to know my secret identity?
And explaining death's nature and motive.
Oh, sinner, prepare to be judged. The crime is life. The sentence is death.
Batman insists on returning to Gotham immediately, and Dredd insists on Batman's first serving a 20-year sentence for his crimes. Batman breaks his bonds and punches Dredd up to the floor. Before being subdued by several other judges, Anderson breaks Batman out of custody and drives him to a alternate dimensional gate. Dredd calls for them to be stopped. Whether this fails, follows them to Gotham. In Gotham, Batman's enemy, the Scarecrow, and his henchman, Benny, break into the city morgue to steal the raw materials for hallucinogenic fear toxin. Promise a feast of fear in exchange, the Scarecrow becomes partners with Judge Dredd.
Would you like to see my mask?
After killing Benny, Death attempts to turn on Scarecrow, who stops him with a dose of a fear toxin, exposing Death's vision of cute, fluffy bunnies and My Little Ponies, and directs him to a heavy metal concert featuring a band called Living Death.
Well
Some people think Judge Dredd to think of him like killing people at a rock concert. And have you seen the Adi Shankar bit?
Meanwhile, Mean Machine demolishes the bar and directed to the same concert. As Death slaughters the heavy metal band, Batman, Anderson, and Dredd appear. In the battle that follows, Death is on the verge of killing Dredd when Batman uses a batarang to destroy his physical body, while Anderson imprisons his spirit in her mind.
And then what happened?
Mean Machine stuck in a berserker frenzy that demolishes the stage, subdued after a pinpoint shot from Dredd destroys the mood-controlling dial on his head. Scarecrow is likewise captured. Dredd prepared to take Anderson and Mean Machine back to his Mega City 1 and insists that Batman come along to complete the sentence.
I am the law.
Long story short, they defeat Judge Death, they defeat Scarecrow, and Batman comes back to normal, and Judge Dredd back to normal. And
Do I get paroled or does my sentence get lighter now?
I love the artwork. I mean, Simon Beasley paintings, you can't go wrong there, dude.
His fully painted artwork, infused with no holds barred heavy metal sensibilities, was a smash hit. Readers lapped up Judgment in Gotham, and it's become a timeless classic.
Especially in the 90s. Very, very product of its time, you know? I mean, in a good way.
It almost didn't make it, though. With the Batman Returns film due the following year, a ban on intercompany crossovers loomed. If the strip didn't see print in December 1991, then it could have sat in limbo for years. And as the deadline pressure grew, Bisley's time-consuming art slipped further behind. Not only was Bisley being made to take ice baths to keep him awake, but editor Steve McManus then had a last-minute dash to Dublin to hand over files of the final pages to someone flying out to New York.
Then there's Vendetta on Gotham. This was not hand-painted or as pretty, but...
In this second meeting between Fleetway's Ultimate Lawman and DC's Dark Knight, Judge Dredd comes to Gotham seeking revenge on Batman. Much fighting between the two flagship characters ensues.
What the fuck?
Dredd returns to Gotham and attacks Batman. Their fight playing out across the city streets while Ventriloquist and his mob infiltrate a theatre performance with a plan to attack a senator.
Yes, it takes place at Christmas. It almost seems like Shane Black wrote it, right?
Oh, snap.
Vendetta in Gotham is essentially an extended fight scene, and despite having the ventriloquist as the comedy element, it misses Anderson acting as a foil for both Batman and Dredd. It's a very different beast to Judgment on Gotham, not least because of Kennedy's very different art style. But we'll come to the reason for that.
All in all, not as good as the one before it, but still good. And next we got the Ultimate Riddle.
Cosmic Villain Zero plans a bloodfest with Batman and Judge Dredd as the star performers, using the Riddler as a pawn. Zero gathers the toughest being from throughout the cosmos and pits the Dark Knight of Gotham City against the #1 lawman of Mega City 1. Now it's hero versus hero to the death.
With art by initially Carl Critchlow and then finished off by Dermot Power, it's
also a product of the year it came out, because in the same year, Batman Forever with the Riddler and Two-Face and the Judge Dredd movie both came out the same year, right? And this is like the ultimate like comic crossover of that year, just cashing in on that. And also came out the same year as DC's big crossover event, 0 Hour.
Now, I say that 0 Hour was a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it's only really so in a spiritual sense. They do make references here or there to the original Crisis, but for the most part, it's about the state of DC Comics in the mid-90s. During this time, the greater DC universe was not aware of the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths beyond they fought some creature called the Anti-Monitor. They didn't remember the multiverse or alternate versions of characters, and in particular, they wanted to address a lot of the continuity issues that arose post-Crisis, like different alternate futures, the Legion of Superheroes not having Superboy as part of their history anymore, despite being integral to a lot of their stories, Superman not being a founding member of the League, that sort of thing. So the end goal, like Crisis on Infinite Earths, was to streamline the DC Universe timeline, put out a more exact map of when events occurred in the past, with stuff like Superman's first appearance being a nebulous 10 years ago, and what are the events that happen in the far future. Did they succeed?
So basically, it was just a vehicle for that.
Batman and Judge Dredd transported into an alien world and forced to meet each other in
I mean, here's the premise. Batman chases them, as he always does, and gets trapped in a fucking, like, you know, maze and cages, right? As well as Judge Dredd and a bunch of other weird aliens from, like, other universes, basically. I don't even recognize any of these creatures. They're probably from the Judge Dredd universe, who fucking knows? And basically, like, fakes his death. Spoiler. Basically, world's dangerous game. They gotta hunt each other, gladiator events. All-powerful event. It's a typical story you'd seen like a million times. You find out that the thing that was causing it is the Riddler gets this future tech, kind of similar to Mysterio's. Like, it was just Easter eggs, and think of like the Dark Universe. Ain't that great? It's fun. It's a good read. Don't want to turn your brain off. And then? The last laugh.
Come on! Best artwork that fucking Simon Beasley has ever fucking done is an entire fucking life. I mean, you'd think the world was gonna end how good it was. And I think I know why. Reason one is it came out in 99. And everybody thought the world was going to end in 2000 because of the whole Y2K bug. And two, the Joker's outfits are fucking badass. I mean, have you ever seen the Joker wear a green suit with marks all over it? And this is before, like, Harley Quinn was basically canon in the DC universe. So, old school, badass, crazy, awesome Joker being the sadist that he is. Oh yeah! As diabolical doppelganger of the Joker menaces Mega City 1 by threatening to free the imprisoned Dark Judges. Fire, Fear, Mortis, and their leader, Death. Batman and Judge Dredd reluctantly join forces to stop their most fearsome foes from forming an unholy alliance. Of course, it has been prophesied that the Dark Knight would be Mega City 1's savior in the face of a terrible disaster. This just may qualify.
Because I'm Batman.
Oh my fucking god, is this fucking good. This is the perfect way to end the fucking crossover series. I mean, it has everything. Except hits. Nag, 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 nag! But, you know, what do you expect from DC Comics? That's not DC Vertigo at the time. I mean, dude, we got the Dark Judges. We got the Joker. We got the Joker as a Dark Judge. Oh yeah! Batman and Judge Dredd race for the Megasphere, which they have just learned is the target of the Joker and the 4 Dark Judges. In 2 minutes, the Megasphere's nuclear blast-resistant doors will shut, sealing in 10,000 hedonists for all time. As the doors are closing, Batman and Judge Dredd slide inside. Once the doors close, the Dark Judges will begin killing people. Joker tests out the new body and finds that when he laughs, people's heads explode. He joins in the slaughter. Some of the fleeing hedonists tell Judge Dredd where the Dark Judges are, and he and Batman head to the scene and begin fighting Joker and the Judges. Using field traps, Judge Dredd contains 2 of the Dark Judges. The other 2 flee in separate directions, and Batman and Judge Dredd each follow along. Batman contains his foe with melted plastic. Judge Dredd kills the body of his foe, inhabiting and sucking the self of the Dark Judge into a nearby funhouse machine. Now Batman and Judge Dredd face the Joker. Joker begins to laugh, and they reel from the sonic vibrations. Judge Dredd Dredd shoots Joker. Joker wakes up in his own body on Earth, which is strapped into a chair at Arkham Asylum. Batman and Judge Dredd shake hands, and Batman jumps back into his own dimension, where we see a naked but covered up Judge Anderson.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
This is Bronze Age Joker teaming up with the dark fucking judges. And just the whole concept how Joker's gonna be like their manager totally fucking works. I highly recommend this. Best thing ever.
And then?
We got the bonus book, Judge Dredd, Lobo. Law and Order meets chaos incarnate in this one-shot transported to Mega City 1. Lobo teams up with Judge Dredd to crack skulls and beat down a wild uprising of undercity mutants. And that's basically the whole premise. I mean, mind you, it just felt like a regular Lobo episode or issue. You know, I used to have a subscription to Lobo back in the day, and I brought back memories of me having that Lobo subscription. I liked it. I mean, Mean Machine was in it. It was weird seeing Lobo end up in Mega City 1, and it did feel like a shameless crossover, but I'm a fan of both. It is what I've always wanted to see. And it's basically exactly a demolition derby, two bikers versus a bunch of sewer mutants.
I tried to scream, but I barfed.
Give this one a 10 out of 10.
Really?
For nostalgia factor, a 10 out of 10, but as for actual, 9 out of 10. I liked it. It was good, hands down. And as for the collection itself, I give it all a 10 out of 10. This is my episode. I'm done. Thank you to our patron who paid for all this. Shout out to our patron who's responsible for all of this. You rule. Thank you, especially you, for making it so we can pay for it. And there you have it. Stay tuned. Pretty soon I'll be reading some other shit too, like might start up on my Elric thing. Mind you, I do have one Elric book that's actually in French because I was an idiot on eBay. Also got some League for a Gentleman, Hitchhiker's Guide by DC Comics,
the celebrated best-selling novel, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
What is this thing?
It's the guide. It's got everything you need to know to survive in the universe.
Well, I can't wait to start that. And Murdered Children 2099.
Let's cook.
And of course, I will finally finish off the Techno Comics Wheel of Worlds saga with Lady Justice, volumes 1 and 2. So stay tuned. And in fact, if you want, you can tell us in the comments which one you want me to read first.
Fuck yeah!
So, coming soon. Peace, I'm out. New issue of Lost Anarchy magazine's out.
Issue number 18 of Lost Anarchy magazine.
And,
Go fuck yourself.
I'm asking all you people, because we're living in a... I don't give two shits about monetization. I'm lucky to get monetized. And why?
I don't give a fuck.
If I have to remove my balls to get at least 50 cents...
Go fuck yourself.
If I'm gonna get neutered for money, it's gotta be a lot of money.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
I refuse to be candy-coated. I've worked way too hard and way too long to be castrated. You guys pre-castrate yourself.
But why?
Check out our Patreon, and linked in the description as you can tell, and support our cause. We don't get paid for this shit.